Holidays in Paris. Some tourist attractions that Paris is famous for are Eiffel Tower, Louvre Museum, Champs-Élysées, Arc de Triomphe, River Seine, bustling boulevards and legendary cafes, Palais Garnier. Here we have some facts about Paris. The Louvre Museum, the world's most popular museum, has 460,000 pieces of art, the biggest collection on the planet, but only 35,000 are shown to the public. The Eiffel Tower, 324-meter-tall structure, was supposed to be a temporary installation intended to stand for 20 years after being built for the 1889 World's Fair. There is a Statue of Liberty in Paris. The main bell in Notre Dame's cathedral weighs 13 tons. The Eiffel Tower is not the most visited monument in Paris. It's the cathedral, Notre Dame de Paris, with more than 12 million visitors per year. We are going to read an article titled Two Sides of Paris. What two parts of Paris is it about? Is it about different parts, for example, one in the north, one in the south, or two different aspects, for example, rich and poor? Let us read the article and afterwards talk about this. When tourists visit Europe, Paris is usually top of their list. It's a city where you can see some of the most famous art and architecture in the world. Most tour groups start by going up the Eiffel Tower for a view of the city, or they visit a museum of art gallery. After a busy morning, it's time to find a good place to eat. There's nothing better than sitting outside a cafe or restaurant in Paris, watching people walking by and eating some of the best food in the world. The city is also famous for its fashion, so after lunch, it's time for some shopping. And in the evening, there is a huge number of theaters and nightclubs to choose from. That's the city that most tourists see when they visit Paris. But there is another amazing part of Paris that you could visit, and it's underground. Paris has hundreds of kilometers of tunnels. Tourists can visit part of these tunnels called the catacombs, where over 6 million people were buried in the 19th century. Normal tourists are allowed here, but you have to walk down to 100 steps and through long dark corridors to see the bones and skeletons. Some tourists have even paid to stay down here overnight. However, this public part of the tunnels is quite small. There are another 250 kilometers of the tunnels which are closed to the public. They are dangerous and the police don't want people to go down there. Nevertheless, a lot of people find their way into these tunnels through secret entrances. The police often search the area and once they found a cinema down here. It's well known that art shows and theater performances sometimes take place in the tunnels, and that they are popular with university students for parties. There are unofficial tours of the tunnels with tour guides like Dominic and Yopi, not their real names. If you pay, they will take you deep underground. It's no place for anyone who is frightened of the dark or small places. The stone tunnels are small, and it's easy to hit your head on the ceiling. After 2 hours, you arrive in a room which isn't on any official map. Yogi and his friends built it. It's comfortable and clean with a table and chairs and a bed. Yogi says there are many other rooms like this under Paris. Many people come down here to party, some people to paint. We do what we want here. So in the first paragraph, the author says that tourists can spend their time in Paris in a very interesting way. They can do everything they need, from museums to restaurants, cafes, and the city offers endless activities. So you know Paris is the fashion capital of the world. The city has a long history of art and a rich culture. In paragraph 2, the author says that if you visit Paris, you should consider visiting Paris catacombs because it is interesting, quite impressive, although frightening. In paragraph 3, the author says that despite the vast length of the tunneled underground world, only a small section of it is open to the public. Once, the police discovered a cinema down there. And in the last paragraph, the author mentions that people can go there to paint, to party, or simply disconnect from the outside world. Now, what two parts of Paris is it about? So from the article, we can understand that it is about the city above the ground, including the cafes, museums, galleries, shopping, theaters, nightclubs, and the city underground, the catacombs. Now let us continue with activity 2. Complete these notes about what a tourist can do in Paris. Use words from the article. So number 1 is see famous art and architecture. So this is an example of the book. Number 2, we have to find this in first paragraph. So we have, it's a city where you can see some of the most famous art and architecture in the world. Most tour groups start by going up the Eiffel Tower. So go up the Eiffel Tower for a view of the city. Or they visit a museum or art gallery. So number 3 is visit a museum or art gallery. Number 4, there's nothing better than sitting outside a cafe or restaurant in Paris, watching people walking by and eating some of the best food in the world. So number 4 is eat some of the best food in the world. Number 5, the city is also famous for its fashion. So after lunch, it's time for some shopping. So number 5 is go shopping. And in the evening, there's a huge number of theaters and nightclubs to choose from. So number 6 is choose from a huge number of theaters and nightclubs. Number 7, tourists can visit part of these tunnels called the catacombs. So visit tunnels called catacombs. And number 8, walk down steps to see bones and skeletons. Now activity 3. In activity 3, we have to choose the correct option to answer the questions. Question number 1. Are tourists allowed to go underground? A. Yes, nowadays they can go everywhere. B. It depends on where they want to go. Or C. No, never. The right answer is B. It depends on where they want to go. Number 2. Why are the tunnels dangerous? A. They might fall down. B. There are criminals down there. Or C. The writer doesn't say. The right answer is C. The writer doesn't say. Question number 3. How have people used other parts of the tunnels? A. For somewhere to live. B. For studying the architecture. And C. For fun and entertainment. So the right answer is C. For fun and entertainment. Question number 4. Why is it difficult to find Dominic and the office room? A. They never take anyone there. B. The tunnels are very small and dark. Or C. It isn't on a map. So the right answer is C. It isn't on a map. Exercise 4. Pick the three sentences which describe the author's purpose. Number 1. To compare and contrast two sides of Paris. Number 2. To support the people who use the unofficial part of the tunnels. 3. To suggest visiting some of the tunnels. 4. To support the police in their work to stop people entering the tunnels. 5. To inform the reader about something they don't know about. Or to criticize people who use the unofficial tunnels. So the three sentences that describe the author's purpose are: number 1, to compare and contrast two sides of Paris. Number 3, to suggest visiting some of the tunnels. And number 5, to inform the reader about something they don't know about.